Welcome to Castles to Cauldrons, where every journey starts with a little bit of magic.
Welcome to episode 39 of Castles to Cauldrons. First time all in the house together, or hotel room.
Yeah.
So we're all able to actually see each other and communicate and talk about the pain we went through last night being all...
Definitely a young man's sport.
We're not hungover.
No,
we're just tired.
No, we didn't have time to drink.
No. We got into the park about 6:15 for HHN, and then we didn't leave until quarter till 2.
Quarter to 2.
Yeah.
And we accomplished all 10 houses, the show, and we went through some of the scare zones, but it was rough. What were y'all's overall thoughts for their first time going to HHN?
I mean, I had a blast. I think it's definitely one of those things that if you've never been, you should experience like at least one time. Would I come back? Yes, I definitely would come back. But it was a lot more of like walking and work than I thought it was going to be. Because you're standing in lines and then you're walking through houses. So there's no like sitting down time, but I had a blast. Like I really did. I had fun last night.
For me, if I were to compare it to Hollywood, I think Orlando is much better. We didn't stay till closing with Hollywood. And I felt like it was so spaced out. Here, I felt very central. So I would definitely come back to Orlando.
I didn't know what to expect. I really enjoyed it. It's different than a park day.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to be on my feet for 8 hours and then you're standing in line to walk through something. So, be prepared to stand and have your feet hurt and your legs hurt. But I really enjoyed my first time. I loved all the houses. So overall, I would definitely do it again.
So the big question is, Terry, what did you think?
It was a long night. It was fun. Not as scary as I thought it would be. So if you're on the weaker side, I think it's definitely doable. If it wasn't for the express pass, there's no way you could only do it in one night. Like if you didn't have express pass, you would probably have to pick your top 3 or 4. I don't even think you can get through half of them.
Yeah.
So
the whole time.
I talked to y'all last night about it, but we went to a sold out night, and we didn't know this until right before we went into the event. I saw it on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, saying that it was sold out. So going in and seeing that the crowds were that bad, we probably could have done a little bit more if we would have done stay and scream, but that would have been extra money for y'all. That would have been $50 a piece for y'all to do that on top of the express and the tickets that you already bought. But I think we did well for express. And even the way Universal says it in their stuff is that express is always a 50% wait time of what's posted. And Jason, I think, was the longest line we walked into.
140 was what it was posted, 145.
And we waited like, 18?
18 minutes. Yeah, because I set a timer. There was a few of the houses I set a timer on that were the longer waits. And we didn't wait more than 20 minutes on any of the express lines.
Yeah, they're very much prioritizing the express, which was great on our side because we paid so much for that and we got to utilize it.
And if you're going to come one time, I think you should splurge on Express. Like if you're going to come one time for the year, do your Halloween Horror Nights, add Express Pass because it definitely makes it worth it.
I will say this is my first time using Express. So I've done all 10 houses every time I've been on one night, but I do a different strategy.
But you also have Stay and Scream because you have an AP.
Yeah, you wait in line for all 10 houses?
Yeah. But I watch them. So toward the end of the night, what Wyatt 6 was 35 and I think El Artista was around 40.
The Hatchet and Chains was only 20.
Yeah, it was 15 when we got in, and when we went back around, it was up to 20. So it's all just watching the lines. And usually you want to go get in the line when it's a higher wait time because that they're accounting for past people waiting. And then you go in because everybody's like, I'm avoiding it. So you get a shorter wait.
But that's you bouncing around the park a lot more. We tried to kind of get the houses all in one area and then move to the next area to get those houses so we were not bouncing back and forth across the park.
And I try not to bounce around the park either. Yeah. I try to, the way we did it is generally how I do it. I start in the back and work my way forward. So being able to do that, that's an easy way. No one goes to those houses in the back first because they want to go to the Terrifiers and the Five Nights that are the big IP houses. So being able to do those last kind of helped us out.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have splurged for the unlimited express pass just so we could have done, them more than one time. I think having at least a second or third chance to walk through to really see everything, I think that would have been great. So I would suggest splurging for unlimited express.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I learned, that you can't get the unlimited express until the day of.
Right.
And it sells out very quickly. So if you want the unlimited, you need to get down to your vacation planning center first thing in the morning.
Or guest services at the park.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're not staying on a resort. We'll get back to the houses here in a minute. We didn't really get to do much outside of the houses because we were pretty go. But what were your thoughts on the scare zones that we went through? I know we didn't get to fully experience them or stand in them, just walking through and seeing what they were. What were they? What you expected them to be? Were they worse off? Were they better off? Which ones actually ended up being like your favorites? Because we can't really go back to our hype list on this and say this one's our favorite because we didn't get to spend time in.
Right. I think the one that was the coolest was the Crazy Cat Lady of Crooked Lane. Like, especially we walked through it during the day when we first got there. And then as we were leaving at night, and it was way cooler at night with all the lights in the trees. Like they had like little pumpkin lights and the creepy Sphinx hairless cat people walking around were gross. But it was really like, I don't know, that one was really cool.
I loved the Toxic 20s because I felt like you couldn't tell if it was an actor or a person, unless you saw like side of their face, because they had issues.
they had toxic put on.
Yeah, because what was it? The sign over the thing that says like "Don't drink the hooch" is what it said,
like that,
over the thing. Yeah.
So I definitely felt like I would be scared more in that scare zone because I wouldn't necessarily know if they were an actor or just a person in the park.
I liked the cat lady one. I thought that was really cool. I really enjoyed the theming around it, the house that was there, the little show that they put on. I just thought that was really neat. And I liked that it was more enclosed versus the Toxic 20s, just because I felt like, I don't know, it just wasn't all spread out. Like I liked being more immersed in that scare zone.
I think the best part for that one was when we were coming back through to leave. And the fog had really picked back up in there.
Yeah.
So it, on top of being so enclosed, you couldn't see so much in front of you.
Yeah, it definitely gave it that more like ambiance with the fog.
My favorite was the Origins of Horror on the way out because it had
We were on the way out of the event.
Well, yeah, that too. Yay! But the birds, because birds are inherently creepy, and these are
those big,
giant
crows.
men on stilts or ladies on
I think
stilts.
what made them scarier was they weren't doing anything. They just
were
stood
super
there.
still. Like, so you're like, is that a person or is it not? And then they would move.
Yeah, but then like we're going out and they would like flap their wings and scare people like randomly. So
And then
that
they
was
had the
neat.
people standing behind them ready with the chainsaws too. Like they were kind of hiding behind them.
Which that was the fun thing for Springfield was the chainsaws running around.
Those guys were fun though. Like the ones that were doing the chainsaws.
They
were
Rachel.
Yeah, one of them came up and waxed Rachel's hair or head. So
squeaky.
it was funny. And they just interact with you on a different level. Like they have more freedom to kind of do whatever they want to.
Yeah.
Versus a script they have to stay on.
Yeah.
Oh, I could tell.
So scare zones, they were great. I'm going to go back, I think, tonight for a little bit and just spend some time in the scare zones and throughout the week just to kind of get back in them.
What were the go-go dancers? Is that a scare
That
zone
was the
or
club horror. That was the street
Yeah,
experience.
that was a street experience.
that
That
was,
one was-
very impressive.
Yeah.
Because those girls were dancing mighty hard for a long time.
Yeah, they were.
Their
like we-
endurance got me.
I feel like we walked through that one too, like 10 times.
Yeah.
I feel like I was at a club.
It added to
I
the
wonder,
vibe.
being called club horror, I wonder why you would feel like you're at a club.
Touche. But I wanted to get my butt up on one of those stages and dance.
I know, those girls were
that.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did enjoy that.
We got to walk back and forth through it because we were trying to get to the show. And we went to it the first time. 9:30 show is what we were trying to get
'cause
into.
we just got done eating at Mel's.
And we were maybe 20 people away from being let into the show for the night. So we walked back to go do some more houses, and we went finally at the 12:30 show. So the Nightmare Fuel, what were y'all's thoughts on the show?
Best part of the whole night. Just being like an ex-dancer and just the fire and like the aerials effects. I really enjoyed the show. Plus there was a bald chick doing the fire. So like props to her. I just really I really enjoyed that show.
Oh, it was great. The show was really, really good. I was dragging by this point of the night, so I was trying really hard to concentrate. There's a lot going on the stage. Like you have your main people that are the characters, and then all the dancers with the fire. So I was trying to focus on everything, and I felt like there was a lot going on, but it was really good. It like that 30 minutes went by very quickly. Like I feel like it went by because you were just really entertained the whole time.
For me, it's what Micah said too. There was a lot going on, but it was definitely very entertaining, and I enjoyed the scenery as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By scenery, I think she means hot shirtless men.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the stage did look good. They put some stuff on there, so I don't know why you would be looking at the people.
The very muscular.
Yes.
Now, I do have to say the one thing in the show that grossed me out was the contortionist guy.
Oh, yeah.
I literally had to close my eyes because I got nauseous watching him. Like I had to like close my eyes and put my head down.
His arm went like 360.
Yeah.
Like,
We
around.
last year for RIP, so they said RIP around that little island that comes out, and we were sitting right there when he came up last year, and it was pretty crazy.
So just warning to people that get queasy with people bending their bodies in weird ways.
Yeah, and I think I threw it out there a few times that this was a very, very much what they say sexy. It gets a little sexy in the
Yes.
show.
It's
So
risque. It's definitely 18 plus.
I wouldn't take young kids to it. I mean, it's nothing like there's no nudity, there's no overt sexual tones, but
yeah, it was tamer this year than it had been in the past.
yeah.
I would totally have my 13-year-old see that show. I didn't think it was overly risque. I think it went well with the theming.
Yeah, you got to think the event itself is for 13 and up.
Right.
So, naturally you're not, Universal doesn't want you to bring your 6-year-old to this event. But if you feel comfortable bringing them to the event, you're probably going to feel comfortable to take them to the show.
We
True.
did see some children.
So like pushing in strollers.
And we saw some babies
Yeah.
wrapped body wearing.
Yeah.
That was different.
I know, like that one when they were pushing like the Wonder stroller or like the Wonder wagon. I was like, why is that like 3-year-old child in here?
And then there was the kid in the chainsaw scare zone with his bubble saw.
That one was
Flying
actually cute.
around.
Though.
That was
like, it was still
cute.
kind of daylight at that point.
But somebody mentioned that was going to be Travis. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yes,
said that,
I'm
yeah.
going to try to do that.
I'm going to get a bubble chainsaw and just blow bubbles at people as I scare them. That was
And
adorable.
the scare actors were letting him play along
Yeah.
too. Like they were letting him do it with them.
So I think the atmosphere is a great atmosphere for just a fun like hangout type thing where we walked around.
Yeah.
It was fun just to do all that. Like I said, going tonight to just do scare zones for myself. I can chill. I can lay back,
Get your Dufftober beer.
get my duffed over, and watch people get scared in Springfield.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into houses. So let's do a recap of our hype list.
I have to say, my hype list are similar from what I wanted, like from what I thought it was going to be to what it was last night.
Okay, so Rachel didn't do a hype list on the episode.
Because she wasn't with us.
She wasn't with us. So let's start with her so she can do her hype list. Go from 10 up.
10 up. Okay. Grave of Flesh, Hatchet and Chains, the Wyatt, so that WWE one, Gawkin, Jason, Terrifier, Fallout, Five Nights at Freddy's, the El Artista, and then the Dolls. That was my 10 through 1.
Right, that was her pre go through. Micah, what was yours?
My pre-go through, Grave of Flesh, The Horrors of Wyatt 6, Five Nights at Freddy's, Terrifier, Dolls Let's Play Dead, Fallout, Hatchet and Chains, Jason, El Artista, and Gawkin.
Heather?
The Wyatt 6, El Artista, Hatchet and Chains, Fallout, Graves of Flesh, Dolls, Five Nights, Jason, and Terrifier.
My hype list was White 6, Terrifier, Fallout, Dolls, Jason, Five Nights, Grave of Flesh, Hatchet, Gawkin, whatever it was called, and El Artista. Terry's was just vice versa of what all of ours was.
Yeah.
The
Basically.
least scary was at the top. The most scary was at the bottom.
Yes. And I think mine kind of stayed. I mean, I don't have it written down, but from what I can remember, the one I thought was going to be the scariest was the scariest. So, yeah.
Well, let's get things started with what we think was the worst house in our opinions. So we'll just start with Rachel again and we'll go that way.
Grave of Flesh. That was my number 10, and it stayed my number 10.
Why?
I thought it was boring. It didn't smell.
smelled like dirt and roses. Did you not smell the roses smells we went in?
No.
Yeah, you can smell the flowers when you walk in.
Yeah.
I did not smell that at all.
Okay, I will
It
say,
kind of smells like an old lady.
yeah, I will say, like, we talked about it coming out of a couple of the houses. Like, I could smell certain things. I don't know if I have a strong sense of smell and you just don't smell at all. But like, that was the thing is she was like, that one didn't smell it. I'm like, I smelled some stuff.
I definitely had scents in a lot of houses.
And I didn't think there was really like a storyline.
Yeah, there was. You died.
So that's the reason why we need to do Express Unlimited was because
So you could
I
go
need
through and see
yeah.
more. That I do have to say, like getting pushed through that conga line, there's a lot of things. Like there's especially certain houses that were really, really pretty, and there was a lot of detail that you can't see because you have like 1 second like in this area to look before you move on.
Right.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is I think they weren't as scary because you're moving through so fast that you don't absorb everything. And like you see the person, 2 people in front of you get scared. So you're like, oh, well, I know someone's around that corner.
Yeah.
And like, I think if you were to go through slower and get lost in looking at the details and forget to look around to see who's coming around the next corner, you would be a lot more scared.
That's the one time
but
I got scared last night is when I turned to say something to you.
we were
and I turned around and
talking
it was in my face.
Someone
Yeah.
turned
Yeah,
around.
that was-
So I think the push, if you don't like scary things, and it's like me, it was a great process because you were in and out. I mean, I would say 30 seconds. Some of them, it felt like it was not long at all. And I think that's how you miss a lot of the details because I think we missed a ton of details. So if you have the opportunity to get through them again, I think you probably should.
And I think that this will come up as we talk about houses and why I rank some of the houses where I did. We didn't have we missed some scares in a lot of houses. Like going to the event as much as I have, and y'all probably noticed some stuff too since y'all been, there would be boo holes where there was no one there.
Yeah.
And it's like, there should have been something here. Obviously, it's lit up. There's something. One of my low ones. We went early on, and we missed every single scare. It seemed like. So Terry, what's your least favorite?
Do you want me to go through the whole list, or are we going to do these one by one?
One by one.
So my least favorite, I'm probably going to be reversed from y'all, so I have to keep this in mind. My least favorite was Terrifier, and it's not even because it was that scary. It was gross. It was just gory.
There a lot of gore in that one.
Wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. The smell wasn't as bad as.
See, you say that, and I gagged in the bathroom scene. Like I literally gagged. So I'm very sensitive to smells.
That was another one that, like Rachel said, I didn't smell anything on that one.
I think it's because you expected it to smell like this, but it smelled like this.
It smelled like a
it
dirty
wasn't-
gas station bathroom.
I smelled part of like that in the Terrifier. Like I smelled that toilet scene, but like it didn't smell like diarrhea. Like it didn't
It just
smell
smelled like a dirty gas station bathroom. It's
From-
kind of that.
yeah, but it was quick.
From what I've heard is that, and I don't know a lot about how to plan out a haunted house. I just like going to it. Is that those smells are really pungent when they go through, so you can smell the poop smell throughout the entire house if they have it really going. So instead of just getting to that bathroom scene and it punches you in the face, you're already aware of it at the entrance of the house. So they had to tone it down some.
Yeah. When it wasn't wet like we expected it to be. It's
I
a lot of
got-
spraying, but not as much.
I got pretty wet coming out of it, but I
That
think
was
I
the
got
end of
We
it's the
ran
wettest part.
that
Yeah,
last
I
little,
walked,
like, what was
so-
it? The bloodbath. Like,
Yeah.
there was no one in front of us, and I think we all just kind of took off on that little walk.
I was like,
thing.
yes,
Yeah.
go, move.
And it smelled like bleach.
I was behind Jason and he's all strolling and I'm like, I don't want to get wet, so
that's-
get a move on.
That's why I was walking so slow.
And that room, that was a pretty good bleach smell as you were in
Yeah,
that
the
room.
bleach smell was not overwhelming, but it was very strong.
There was bleach.
I know.
That last part was
We got to get your nose checked.
I feel like I have a sensitive nose and I did not smell bleach. For me, the bathroom scene smelled like the potpourri that you smell after.
Yeah,
The
it's
spray.
like someone had tried to cover up a
poopery.
poop
Yeah.
smell.
Poopery.
Yeah. You could definitely smell there's poop there, but it wasn't crazy
Yeah,
strong.
it
I
was
don't
like
know. I don't know if
roses.
it's just because I knew it was supposed to smell like poop, but I'm just very like sensitive to those things. I went to say something and I gagged. I was like,
I will say I'm proud of y'all because we had talked about doing Terrifier very last, and we're going to do that, go through the wet side and just get done. We had gone to the restroom and they were like, "Hey, Terrifier's right here. Can we just do this
it's
now?"
because we were tired and
Yeah.
our feet were hurting
So-
and it was right
Yeah, I was
there.
like,
We were trying to get it
Don't
done.
make us walk back.
Which I 100% get. So, but like y'all were great with just going, "Hey, let's go ahead and get this one done with."
Yeah.
So, Micah, what's your least favorite?
My least favorite was the Wyatt 6. I think just because I don't understand the backstory to it, and I don't know much about that whole thing. Like Jason was trying to explain to me about like when a lantern gets blown out, what that means. And it just wasn't scary. I don't know. Like it was fine. It was nice to walk through, but I guess because I didn't fully understand it and I didn't get the story walking through like I did some of the other houses, it was just at the bottom. And I don't know also if it was kind of one of the last houses we did last night too, in that last little bit. And I was dragging at that point.
I'm with you on that one. That one's my lowest too. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that. And it's for the same reasons. It's just, I like seeing the background of WWE for the most part and like quote unquote what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not invested in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a very niche, like
it is
audience.
But at the same time, so is Terrifier. And, you know, I didn't think I was going to like Terrifier. And I put it so low on my original list.
Yeah, it's definitely higher on my new list than it was my original list.
But Wyatt being there, I think it's a great homage to the person that created everything, because you walk in and they blow out the lantern. The lantern represents him. And then the last thing you see walking out is a lantern in a chair, which also represents Wyatt. So
I was also very distracted by all the mop hair. Like everybody had like those white mop looking wigs on too.
And it was weird because you're going from story to story.
Yeah.
And like there's an Alice character. So you go through a tea party at one point, and it's like, I don't get how these connect.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I remember seeing a bunny. Was that supposed to be the rabbit from Alice?
Yeah, I think so. But it was just like,
there was a girl that popped out. Yeah. With the tea
and
stuff.
they say something about a tea party and everything. So I was just like, I just assume it's Alice. I might be wrong. Like I said, I have no emotional attachment to this show. And I try to watch the documentary, and I got to know the person a little bit better. I don't see why it's there. So Heather,
it's Wyatt and ditto.
Yeah.
Everything you just said. So
yeah.
I mean, I'll go through it again at some point just to see if it's any better. I think we missed probably some scares, but I just didn't. All right, what's your next one, Rachel?
My number 9 was Wyatt, the WWE. I have to agree. Like, I do like the backstory behind WWE. Like, I watched that. I was telling Mike I was watched that Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix and got to see like the difference between like, you know, WWE and, you know, back in the day it was WWF and the NWO. Like, that was cool. I like that they had like the chairs, you know, like I noticed some of those like things that were wrestling. But like, I don't know the story.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't find it overly, like, I didn't think it was scary.
Terry?
My next one was, again, reverse of y'all's, was Gawkin, because I found that one probably to be the most scariest as far as like jumping out, I guess. And honestly, I don't remember exactly why. I don't remember anything significant. I just made this as we were going along. So I remember
that wolf thing got you. Like there was a big wolf one that like animatronic thing that came out and it got Terry.
Wolves and any female character spooked me. I don't know why like little girls would come out, some of them, or like women. I don't know why the men aren't scary, but the women are super creepy. But that was a good house though. And I think it's because it's not a lot of lore. Like you don't have to understand a lot going through it. You just
understand
it.
Like the Viking side. Because you walk in and it was like witchy type stuff. Like as soon as you watch it.
Very Blair Witch feeling when you walk into that one. Because you have all those sticks hanging from the ceiling and everything.
Yeah. Like it's like I said, it's not like a ton of lore that you have to understand. You almost kind of interpret it as you want in your head. And it's like that might be the only one that had like a witchy, I don't want to say religious undertone, but like they were burning, not crosses, but they were burning.
So they had a Burning Man.
Yeah. Like
very like the pagan type.
Pagan, that's the word. Yeah. Not religious, but paganistic, you know? So that's kind of, to me, that stuff is more spooky. Like if I'm watching a scary movie, jump scare movies don't scare me as much as the ones that like screw with your head or like involve the church or like kids that are, you know, possessed. Like that stuff to me is more scary than like
because it could theoretically almost happen.
Yeah, it's almost more realistic. Yeah.
It's like there was one a few years ago called Blood Moon, and it was an occult, and it's like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
So, but it was creepy and beautiful, but it was because you thought maybe this could happen. Micah.
So my number 9 was Five Nights at Freddy's, just because it was like a lot of animatronics and it wasn't scary. And again, never seen the movie, so I don't really understand the whole thing. But to me, it just wasn't really scary at all. Like we're going through, And it was a lot of animatronics. Like that one was mostly that versus like scare actors. There were some in there, but I was like, oh, okay. It's like at one point there's just like Freddy's hand that was like swiping at you from the wall.
Like big Muppet hands coming out of the
Muppet
wall.
hands.
And they're not very scary.
Heather, what's yours?
So it was 5 nights. I mean, when you first walk in, it definitely felt like Chuck E. Cheese. So it was kind of brought back good childhood memories. And yeah, I just didn't think it was scary. I didn't know the storyline. The animatronics were cool, but I just wasn't impressed with it. And that actually is the opposite of what my hype list was.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 nights was higher. But for me, that was number 9.
My number 9 was my last house from the get-go. It was Dolls. I just I turned to Rachel when we came out of there. I was like, Dolls is my number 1 right now, and it's also my last place house, and it stayed last place until we went through Wyatt. So I mean, and I think that has a lot to do with we missed a lot of scares. That was the first house we did.
We could have went through that one again, but I just didn't have the energy
Right.
to do another one last night.
So we went through standby because we got into the park and it was showed a 15-minute. I think we waited maybe like 30 in all actuality, which was good because it's in a tent. You know, that kind of helped. All the houses we did at the very beginning were tent houses. If you don't know, the sun goes through those houses a little bit more, so it lights it up a little bit. So we kind of said, okay, we'll do the standby and we could go back again later and do the express. The guest buttons, the red buttons, those were fun. There was a doorbell. There's one in the oven and there's one in between those two. I can't remember where it was, but those were fun. I don't know what exactly they did, but I never got around. Never really liked it. Rachel, number 8.
Hatchet and Chains. It had good jump scares that but like I don't really remember. It's not really rememberable for me. But I mean, according to my notes from last night, I had good jump scares.
That's one way that we had to rate them though, is like if we got scared or not.
Right.
And it goes back to what Terry was saying a few minutes ago, and Micah was, I would be looking at something and trying to look at the detail and miss the person that's standing right next to me, and they would jump me.
Well, I had that at number 9, so it's my number 8. So I guess like I didn't have high expectations anyway for it. So
Terry?
My next one down was the Jason house. And I would say it fit with the Jason lore. And it had a lot of Jasons. And I think that's almost why I was not scared, but it's like that was one that it was almost like you get scared here, then here, then here, then here. Like you didn't have time to recover. So you didn't miss some of the jump scares because they were coming so frequently that even if you saw one in front of you, like as you were getting scared, 2 people in front of me, it would be another one at me now because they were so frequent. And just the lore of Jason, I think, is spooky in itself. So that's why that one was high, low on my list.
I kind of like the old lady, Jason's mom in there.
Oh, the women. Did she talk to Rachel?
She did.
Rachel.
Yeah.
These people love Rachel. But like she gave Rachel this whole backstory. Can I say it?
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything.
I mean, if they've seen the movies, I think they know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole lore of Jason.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't watch the movies, so I don't know. But like she was kind of like she wasn't scary looking. She looked like a mom, but she was like spooky. Like she had been traumatized. Like she just had a look in her eye, and she was like telling Rachel basically like these people were making love and the 4-year-old died and like
he died at the summer camp.
Yeah, the counselors were fornicating and the kid died and it's Jason and it's like, okay. But she's just running back and forth telling everybody about it in this line.
But
it's
it was
hilarious.
calm and it was like she was almost like I feel like a mom would be when a tragedy happened. Like she was like comatose but talking almost. So it was like real calm and steady, but super creepy.
Yeah.
And like she wouldn't leave you alone. Like when you tried to walk by her, she just kept wanting to tell you her story. So she was creepy.
Was that on track or was that someone actually speaking?
It's all on track. Yeah.
Okay.
Because if
she
you notice a
did.
lot of the stuff when you go through the houses, like even when the jump scare actors come out and they like swipe their things, like there's the sound with it.
So there's a trigger they have. One of the houses, you could actually see it on the wall. The person hit it and then the effects go off. So if there's a boo hole, there's a foot pedal. They can hit the foot pedal and walk around and everything goes off.
Mm-hmm.
So That's what that is there's a foot pedal somewhere or a button she pushed and it goes off and she knows what to say when. Micah.
My number 8 was Dolls Let's Play Dead. Kind of the same thing. We definitely missed.
I feel like ours is very similar.
Same thing. I think we missed a lot of the jump scares. Just to me, it just wasn't that scary. But also there was the smell of burnt hair as we were going through. And I didn't love that smell either. But it just wasn't super scary. If we could have went through it again, maybe it would have been different. Maybe it would have changed on the list. But I don't know. It wasn't super scary. I don't think it was very high on my list last time. Anyway, well, it was a little bit higher. It was 6 on my original list. So.
And you said yours is the same thing.
Yeah, and it was actually one that I was looking forward to because I think dolls are kind of creepy. And I originally had it as number 4, but like you said, like we missed a bunch of the jump scares. I don't know if it was a shift change or whatever. And the buttons were hard to find. Like you found them right away, but I was like, how did he see that?
Well, the doorbell is very hard. Like it's not hard to see. You don't know it's there because it's
just a blue.
It's just the doorbell. Then I remember listening to a podcast and like the doorbell's one of the buttons, and you wouldn't know unless you go push it. Okay. So I went and pushed the doorbell, and then everything else is just a flashing red button. You look for. There was one in another house. I can't remember which one it was, but I just hit it, and I was like, okay.
You were flipping light switches in the
white
6 one.
Every time I see something that I might be able to do, I'm going to touch it to make sure it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
I didn't want to touch anything. Mm-hmm. I didn't know we were allowed to touch things.
I mean, you're not supposed to touch like everything, but if there's a sign that says turn off water, I'm going to turn it because I want to see if it's going to turn water on. You know, they're trying to maybe entice you to do something every now and then.
Yeah, I kept my hands to myself.
I actually did too. I was like this, walking through. Because also though, if I get scared, sometimes I lash out. So I was keeping my hands to myself.
Do not hit the scare actors.
Yeah.
So I held on to my bag.
My number 8 was Graves of Flesh. It kind of goes back to what Rachel was saying. I understood the story and what was there, but I just didn't. It didn't get to me like the way I thought it was. I don't think it was too high, but I was really kind of hoping for the decomposing smell. But the dirt smell was good to me.
Dirt and roses. When you first walked in, you're like at the graveyard mausoleum area, and there's a guy there, like the grave digger, and you smelled the roses. At first, I said it smelled like an old lady, and then Terry pointed out, like, oh no, it's floral, like roses, and I was like,
which is an old lady.
Yeah, which is an old lady. But then, like, as you're going through, it's like you're in the grave and, like, you look up and you see, like, the canopy over it and the tombstone. And as you're going through, it definitely had that, like, dirt soil smell.
I did like the facade of this one when you walk in, and it was nice.
Yeah.
You have, like, a really good photographic memory because I don't remember that.
You don't remember, like, looking up and seeing, like, the rectangle of, like, mounded, like, it was opening, like, you were down, like, you were down in a grave that someone had buried?
Yeah, like it looked like you were in a grave and you looked up and
it's a rectangle. It had the mounds of dirt around each side, like you look at from the bottom when someone puts the...
Why didn't you tell us? Oh, wait.
You were
because you would have been jump scared.
Yeah. No, because I was trying to get through there as fast as I could. And I think I looked around a lot too. Out of being scared, just to like
I did this a lot in a lot of the houses. Like I was looking up and around trying to find the different things.
And stuff did drip on me in that house. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you first walked in, there was a little drip or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, Rachel.
So my number 7 is Five Nights at Freddy's, and I actually had that as like number 3. I do like the nostalgia. I love that like the animatronics like looked like I was in Chuck E. Cheese, and I really didn't like. I thought that was super cool. I wish I could have taken like a video of that.
Well, because when you first walk in, they almost do like the little like show with the animatronics as you're walking in, and then the lights cut.
Yeah, I thought I had great decor and animatronics, but it wasn't scary.
No, and there was a few people in there. I think that was another one of the houses that was just very much. We missed a lot of scares at some point because we walked through some areas with nothing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I was just like, okay.
Oh, and I was looking for like the openings, like where someone would pop out. I would stare at some of them that were like hidden in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, don't think they jumped out because Rachel saw them. You prevented some of the jump scares.
But sometimes they'll sit there and you see them and they'll try to get you still because you're looking right at them. Terry?
My next one on my list is Hatchet and Chains. And honestly, in parentheses, I just have, maybe I'm just super tired. And this one scared me. So
it was the second to last house.
Yeah, Hatchet and Chains. That was like 1 o'clock in the morning. We just got out of the the show. So,
And I think I was too tired to look around to see what was coming around corners and stuff. So I think I did get booed in that one a lot, just because I was ready to go home. But it was that one. I will at least say had like a nice theme, like the dead horse when we came in, and like you kind of understood in that one what was going on if you didn't know anything about it.
That's actually why I got scared in that one, because we were having a conversation about the dead horse, and I turned around and I was talking to Terry about it, and I turned around and there was something in my face, and I went like it actually got me. So that was good. That's why it's a little higher on my list, because I actually got a scare.
it was a lot. It wasn't as hot as I thought it was going to be. Somebody with the lava and everything that was in there. I was like, okay, well, maybe the demons will be hot. And it's like not hot at all.
And at one point you're on a train and there's bullets going everywhere.
Yeah. The train's upside down at the end.
I didn't notice that. I did notice being in it. You didn't see like the window going?
I didn't notice it was upside down.
Based on Heather's reaction, me and her had the same experience. I think me and Heather did different houses than y'all, because we're like, what? You saw what?
Yeah, I did not see that at all. Maybe I was just busy watching Rachel stare at the people that were supposed to come out and scare me.
Micah.
My next one, number 7, is Grave of Flesh, because I did like the story. Like I kind of understood as we went through, and I thought it did have some pretty good like little jump scares and some different stuff as we went around. So, I mean, I liked that one. I didn't get scared in that one, but I did think like the detail in some of those, especially like the ones in the soundstage, had a lot of detail in them. And I felt like it had a lot of detail and it was fun to look around.
I'm going to say this right quick too, because you said soundstage. That's a cluster back there this year. Usually in the past, it's a lot cleaner and a lot easier to go to, but because of Rip Rye being demolished and them doing construction, that is going back there is a whole different event now. It's like you have to go back there and know you're back there.
And we backtracked. Like I felt like we did the same loop multiple times.
Which in the past you had to do that too. So you would come out of the house and you had to leave and come back in. So it was a lot.
Yeah.
I will say that was a good thing about Jason. I think someone who was familiar with it and had done it before and had studied up on it. We just kind of followed him around. Like he was like Mama Duck, and we were just kind of following him around all night, because I think it would be hard to navigate on your first time, especially if you've never been before and you were with a group that had never been before. So that helped us out a lot.
I know how to pretend that I know what I'm doing when the situation's different.
What was your nickname, Rachel? Because we told Jason he was in charge.
Oh, I said I was going to be a passenger princess or a travel princess.
Yeah.
She's like, just tell me where to go and I'm going.
Yep.
And then she complained we've had to stay in and stand by. This is waiting too long.
Listen, if I bought Express Pass, I'm going to use Express Pass. I understood the thought process behind like doing it twice. I totally get it. I was just busting your balls.
I know.
Well, and it was early because we got in, it said 15 minutes, but it jumped up pretty much right after we got in. The time jumped up because we were like, 15 minutes, we can totally wait. But it was definitely more than 15
And that's the real
minutes.
bad thing about this. We'll get back on track, is that when you walk in and you see that the wait time is 15 minutes on something, you cannot see the line.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to walk backstage, and then you see the line. It's like, okay, do we want to stay here or do we not? And it's really bad at the sound stages, because Wyatt 6, all the line was in a sound stage itself. And there was another one, Five Nights was all. So you have to walk all the way back to the backstage to get there, and then you have to see, oh well, that's not a 30-minute wait. That's a 3-hour wait.
Yeah.
Micah.
Number 6 for me was. Are we at number 6?
No.
So 7. Okay, so it's Heather's turn, because yours was Flesh, right?
Yeah,
for
Grave of
6.
Flesh.
Oh, okay. Mine was Artista, which it kind of moved up a little bit from my original hype list. It was very pretty. Like I liked the house, and I thought some of the scenery, like I could see a storyline with the painter throughout the house. He kind of went crazy. So, but now I'm like trying to remember last night. I think it was just a blur.
It was.
And we were sober. We were sober. And it was a blur.
I had 0 drinks last night, like alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, I think I had a drink and Terry had a drink, and that was it, right?
Yeah.
I just feel like I was too tired to want to drink alcohol, because if I drink just a little bit of alcohol, I get even more tired. So I knew better than to put any alcohol in.
But you're not missing much. I mean, the drinks are great, but it's okay. Sorry, Heather.
Oh, no, that was it. I thought it was a pretty one, but it wasn't one that I was really looking forward to.
Mine's Fallout. I have no attachment to the show still. And that house just, once again, I think we missed a lot of scares in some of those places. I didn't care for it. It was beautiful though, because there's places where you could walk through and you could see some of the scenery for the next house or the next room or something like that. But I wasn't too enthralled with it.
Oh, when you were saying like the next room, those like dividers with like whatever's hanging down or curtains, that's annoying. Like I'm going through that and I'm like, how many people have touched these?
Yeah.
I was like trying to use like the back of my hand and I'm like, they're not really like, you either hold them open for someone behind you.
You
Like
smack them in the face.
And see, I was the one that was trying to smack Rachel in the face with like the intestines or something that was holding.
you did. Yeah. Whatever those hanging things were.
Or the sack of balls in Five Nights at Freddy's.
Literally
There
a
were
sack
sacks
of balls.
Yes.
Literally net sacks full of balls for ball pits.
Yeah.
Ball pit balls.
Ball pit balls.
Which I don't remember being in a Chuck E. Cheese, but
Chuck E. Cheese had ball pits. What are you
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about? That was a whole draw of Chuck E. Cheese was the ball pits.
ours was an arcade. Like it was a huge arcade, and then you had the
No.
pizza stage.
Yeah, we
You
had
didn't
our-
have like the big like playground with the ball pits.
Yeah,
bottom?
thank you, Micah. That's what I'm
we
remembering.
had a Discovery Center that had that, but our Chuck E.
Now
Cheese
having
didn't
a
have
child, I
that.
don't know if I'd want him to go in that ball pit because of all the
Well,
gross
that's-
germs.
Disgusting.
That's why they got rid of them. Rachel, what's your next one?
My number 6 was Gulkin. I actually had that as number 7, so it went up one. Really good theming, I thought. There's a lot of the Christmas trees.
There were a lot of Christmas trees.
Yeah, we were going around a corner, and Rachel turns around and goes, "A Christmas tree."
It wasn't like, I thought it had really good effects. It wasn't as cold as I thought it was going to be. Like you're telling me, oh, houses are going to have a bunch of smells or it's going to be super cold.
Well, before then too, I didn't know this was going to be a tent house.
Oh,
Usually the soundstage houses that are cold or legit cold, like the Yeti house a few years ago was a cold house, and it was pretty cold.
yeah. I just was expecting, I think, more. And it was just a regular, like air conditioned ride. I felt like,
Yeah.
but no, I did like the theming. I thought it was a really good, like, I took more in of it as, am I going to get scared? And then what's the theming look like? Like, how well was it put together? That's kind of what I'm basing mine off of.
Which is the correct way to do it.
My next one was El Artista. So I guess that falls somewhere in the middle. It wasn't that spooky, but I think Heather said it was a beautiful house. So that's one I wouldn't have minded going through slower.
And this
I
is the
think
house that you wanted to get out of.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the night, Terry was like, "Can I go get a Diet Coke
Yeah,
instead
I
of
was
going
just
through
so
this
tired.
house?"
I was like, can I just bail on one? But I think it would have been spookier because it's more like these people just went crazy.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like we missed a lot of scares in there because there wasn't many at all, in my opinion.
And we might have. I mean, that was, a lot of people were leaving the event at that point.
That was our last
Yeah.
And it
house.
was the last house. It was almost 2:00. So
It almost, I kind of got on edge because it almost lulled you into that false sense of, oh, there's nothing spooky in here. Because we went around like 2 or 3 corners and nothing had jumped out yet. And I was like, oh, there must be something super big coming on. And it never happened. I mean, like I said, I think I got spooked by like a bride or something like that, or a lady or something. Girl popped out once, but towards the end. But yeah, I just thought that one was very pretty.
Mhm.
all right, Micah.
Number 6 for me was Fallout. I thought that one was fun. I enjoyed that, even though I haven't seen like the show, but I kind of enjoyed just going through with the story and like the characters that they had, like for the promo and the pictures, like you knew, like when you went through and you saw those characters, I feel like through the house, like when they came out. So I enjoyed that one.
Heather.
For me, it was Graves, and that matches my hype list. But I can't remember why I put it up there. I promise I wasn't drinking.
Yeah.
I honestly, that was the one that you said we were
We were
buried.
buried. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rachel and I never even realized that. And now I'm like, do I remember that house? But it matches what I had on my hype list.
Mine's Freddy's, and kind of goes back. We missed a bunch of scares. The animatronics were really good. I'm glad they spent the money on them, and I hope that they put them in an actual Five Nights or Freddy's whatever restaurant type thing next year instead of a house, because it would make a lot more sense than what they had. We didn't get to go into the overlay for Louis. That was a disappointment from what I've heard on a lot of people. It was fun though. Like I enjoyed it. Rachel.
So my number 5 was El Artista. I actually had that at number 2. So I was a little bit disappointed. I did really enjoy the theming. And I think like the house, like that one big room was super cool. But like, again, wasn't scary to me. Like I did enjoy like the theming of it though, and how they put together the rooms.
Terry?
My next one is Fallout, and I want to explain it, but I don't really remember anything about it, which might be why it's towards the bottom of my list of not being scary, because obviously it wasn't scary, and I can't really tell you one detail. And that's the second one we went through.
Yeah, it was so daylight when we went through that one.
So I think maybe it just kind of blended in there with everything else, but I don't remember anything really remarkable about it.
Or we're talking about Fallout and Galkin back there. That tent they put up over the queue is super loud, super hot.
Yeah, the air just sits under there and it's warm.
So just go be prepared for that if you go and do, even in the express lines.
I think that's the longest express line. One of the longest ones was Fallout that we stood in.
It was Galkin, because Fallout, Fallout was pretty fast. We walked pretty much straight in, but Galkin,
we were under the same tent though.
Yeah, it was the same tent. So Micah.
Number 5 actually was Terrifier, because for me, when I think of like scary haunted house, gory type things, like Terrifier, like that type of like house, like with the blood and the gore and stuff, is kind of what I think about. It was originally number 7 on my original list, so it bumped up to number 5. Again, the smell in the bathroom made me gag, but I'm very sensitive to smells. But I thought it was like, it had some good jump scares and it had a lot of stuff. There were a lot of arts in there and a lot of different clowns and stuff. So I thought it was a pretty good house.
Heather?
Mine was Fallout, and I have no idea why it made it up this high, because I was thinking that it was one that I wasn't even going to enjoy, but I don't remember why it's there. It must have been because I got scared. That's the only reason I can think that it made it that high.
They did tease for Fallout like the sequel, because there's New Vegas, and that's supposedly the new season. And there was a game called New Vegas, and one of the last signs you see is Welcome to New Vegas. So maybe we'll get season 2. I don't know, but it wasn't high on mine. My next one was Hatchet. I enjoyed it. It was just fun. I liked it as original house, and seeing what a 2-room house looks like after it came from Slaughter Cinema last year, and the demon horse throughout was pretty cool to see, like just popping out at random places. So it was fun. Rachel.
So my number 4 on both my hype list and my actual is Fallout. Like, I think with Heather, like, I don't know why it's that high. But my notes were good theming. I had more jump scares and it was longer. I mean,
yeah, I think with those two houses, Galkin and Fallout, they're in the bigger tents, whereas Hatchet and Dolls were in the smaller tents. So those two felt rushed, and like they didn't take a full effect of the space they had. But the big tents, it's like, what can we do to make these things so long? And both of those, like, they felt like a really long house.
Yeah.
And I think coming, because that was our second one, we did Dolls before that, and Dolls was short. So I think that's probably why I put longer, because I think I was expecting it to be like that long for all of them. But yeah, I'm with Heather. I don't know why it's high, but I must have enjoyed it.
Terry.
My next one is Graves of Flesh. So not very spooky if you're following my count up. It was pretty. The smells were, but I didn't get scared.
Yeah, because Grave of Flesh was number 10 on my original list, because I thought it was going to stink like rotten flesh, because that's what it sounded like. And then I was like, oh, dirt and flowers? Cool.
And I don't remember that many jump scares.
No, I
didn't
find it being super scary.
Micah?
Number 4. So my top 4 are the same. Like, so I really didn't change much in my top 4. So number 4 was Hatchet and Chains. Again, I got scared in this one because I was talking to Terry and I turned around and Demon Horse came at my face, I think. And because we were literally talking before you walk in the house, there's like a fake dead horse laying on the ground. And since I work in animal medicine, I was making jokes of like, do you think I could save it? Like, as we were going in. And then as I turn around, it's in my face. And I like jumped and actually did that. So I also thought the theming was good throughout the house, like that kind of like Western type thing. And then you're on the train. I don't know. I really enjoyed that house. I thought it was fun.
There's 2 shootouts too this year. You have the shootout in Hatchet and you have the shootout in Fallout. So it's like you have that Western theme right there. And it's just like, okay, we had those scares of the bullets whizzing past you in one house.
Yeah, because it had like air that would puff out of the little walls. Yeah.
Heather?
Mine was Galkin. That one, I felt like it was longer. I thought it was pretty. I must have had some jump scares in it because it made it kind of high, but I do like the whole Viking kind of thing. So I did enjoy that one. And the Christmas trees.
The Christmas trees.
The non-decorated Christmas trees.
Yes. We get the Christmas decorations in the Terrifier house.
That's the only thing I can remember. Christmas trees. Don't remember being jump scared in Fallout, but sure.
Mine's Jason universe, pretty much for the opposite reasons of Terry, because you were getting scared so much. I made a point that I wanted to be at the back of the pack for this one because I had heard about the final scene being a bunch of Jasons popping out everywhere, and I figured they'd get Terry at some point, and she never got. But so that was a disappointment for me. But I liked it. I thought it was fun. They really used the house space since it was Fast and Furious, being able to split that up. They really used that in a good way. So it was fun. Right, Rachel?
Number 3, dolls. And that was my number 1, actually. I don't know if it's just the theming. I think they're creepy looking. The burnt hair smell, like that was one of because it was the first house we went in, but like I thought I was going to get more smells like that, like, cause that smelled for longer and I thought it was more potent. I just really liked the costumes, like how chunky I don't know. I just liked how aesthetically pleasing to me. Yeah, it was short because I didn't realize it was like a smaller tent house. And I didn't realize that I had nothing to compare it to. So I didn't realize how many jump scares I was missing. I just was like kind of just walking around taking in the scenery. But I like how chunky chubby their faces are. Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was cute.
Aren't we supposed to be doing scary?
Yeah.
I didn't view that as like super scary. I viewed that as like adorable.
Okay.
Terry.
Okay, my next one was the WWE house. And I think
hers is near the top of the list. It was at the bottom of everything else's.
It's not scary because I think it would have been if I would have understood more about it. But it just, because some of the, anytime you take like a bunny or what was the other one, a pig, and you kind of put those faces on people, kind of gives a creepy vibe. But I didn't really understand what was going on. And so it was just kind of random. And then like all the hair looked moppy. I think like we talked about.
Yeah.
So I think it had the potential to be scarier if you would have stayed in there longer or if there was like a backstory that you knew. Like if they like showed you like a pre-show before you went in there and then you.
Which they have done in the past. They've done stuff like, and you could see it in, I guess it was when we were waiting for Galkin. They turned the projectors on in the tent and then dolls, you could see it on the wall when we were waiting for Galkin. They were running stuff and they used to show like actual, like this is what's going on in this house. Here's a little bit of a story for you. But now it's just commercials for the event you're at.
Yeah.
Micah?
Number 3 for me was Jason because like, again, I've seen Jason movies, so I kind of know some of that stuff. But again, that last line of Jasons where they're just popping out, like all the different Jasons are popping out at you and there's strobe lights going. Like it was good. And you had that very Jason sound, that like that noise, like that was good because I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that's from these movies as we were going through. So that brought back a little bit. So I just thought that was a good house. It did have some good, like some scares to it. And if you know the movies, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good house. I liked that one.
First time in real life I've actually had to run from the sound of Heather.
Hatchet and Chains. I obviously don't remember it because there was a train and obviously I missed the whole train thing, but it must have been that I got a bunch of jump scares in it. And I just thought it was interesting walking through. So
my number 3 is actually probably the biggest jump from my hype list. And it's Terrifier. Yeah. Because Terrifier was like number 9 for me. Because like I said, I had no connection with it. I just had fun in the house.
Yeah.
Like I think Rachel was either right behind me or right in front of me. And you know, the arts, there was one that jumped out and waved and I waved back and he clapped and we were just, messing around with the clowns and it was great. And the intestines everywhere and the Christmas lights. It's just fun. There was a lot more to it and I enjoyed it. The wet side was great.
But it wasn't as wet as like I
y'all
feel like
ran through the thing.
Yeah.
But I thought you said that they kind of toned it down
Yeah,
because
they
it
did.
flooded.
But it flooded like night 1 or the premiere night.
because
so.
we all did do the wet path. Not a single one of us took the dry path.
Was there even an
wasn't a
option?
dry path.
I thought
Okay.
they had the other one. No, there were people
dry,
coming out of the dry
path was going.
Yeah, there's just
I
nobody
only
was
saw
going
one
through.
entrance.
No, there was
Exit.
a second entrance.
'Cause I was
And then
gonna mess
people
with
were
art and
popping
give
out
it-
of it as we were coming out. People were walking out the second entrance too.
I missed that.
I completely
totally
missed
missed
that
that,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
My
if you would've-
favorite part of that house was the very end when you come out and there was that headless
art.
clown and
yeah,
he
the
was
last-
Yeah,
squeezing
that's
the ball.
But because the last person you see before that, there was an angel, and that's the girl who kills Art in the movies. And she got set off. So his body's over there without the head. But I was very surprised at that house, at how good we missed a lot there. The Clown Cafe, there's a little trailer with Art was supposed to be in there. And I was like, I want to see this. So I don't know if I would wait an hour and 40 or 140 minutes for it.
Mm-mm.
But if I could get in there at a stay and scream and do like a 20-minute wait,
Yeah.
I'd be fine with it. All right, number 2, Rachel.
Jason.
Yes. What is yours number 2?
Jason was my number 2. It was actually I had it for number 6, so it definitely went up. It was long. I have that down there, and I just really liked the theming, like, you know, from the movies, all the different Jasons. You felt like you were running,
Mm-hmm.
like you were going through being like a character that was being, you know, haunted by him.
Yeah.
I thought that was really, I enjoyed it.
Terry, what was the second least scary house?
Secondly, Scary House, which means it was my quote unquote favorite, not really, was Dolls. And I think it was because I was expecting it to be a lot scarier because dolls are inherently kind of scary, you know, like with the eyes that don't really move, but they kind of do. I did not like that it smelled like burnt hair
Yeah.
when you came in. And the other thing I didn't like is that it had like almost like apparently these dolls set the house on fire.
It's the little girl, I think, that's there because you go in the easy bake oven.
Okay.
Is what it is at one point, and that's why we had the smell of
I
burnt
thought it was
hair.
gonna be hot in there. Like when we went in and like I had all the coils lit up, I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be like heat, and I was like, oh, I was waiting for it to be hot, and it never
Yeah.
like got warm.
And I think that would have obviously they can't do it, but if they would send you in groups instead of the conga line where you have time like to go, I think that one would have been more creepy and more because you know if you feel like you're getting trapped in the house that's on fire, that's another level of like discomfort that would lend to like the spooky effect. If you're like, oh, but now you can get through this thing really fast, so that doesn't make your adrenaline pump. So I think that one could have been scarier, but it wasn't. So that's why it went up to the not scary list.
Micah, you're number 2.
My number 2 was El Artista. One, because it was beautiful. And I think it did have a really nice story. And I wish I had time to look because there were so many details that we couldn't see. Like at one point when you first walk in, there's like a book open. And like I wanted to be able to like read what was on there. And the artist was in there. And then as you're walking through, I was like, and there was things like that I saw like when we were underground, there was like a baby skeleton in the wall that nobody else saw. Like, but somebody was carrying a baby, but I didn't see that. So, and I think, did I lead the way through that house? I think I did.
so.
I think I led the way through that
Yeah, it was
one.
you, then Terry, I think.
And I just thought it was really pretty. Like I really enjoyed it. I feel like it fit the theme for like Universal's theme this year with like the gothic type stuff too, because it kind of had like the gargoyles and those type of things in there too. And I just thought it was really pretty, and it was a little bit longer of a house. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it and just wish I had time to really look around and kind of take in everything of the story. But I really enjoyed it and would go through that one again.
So my number 1 and 2 flip-flopped, but at least I was like on point for my 2 favorite. This one was Terrifier. I really liked kind of interacting with the scare actors, like him, you know, waving at you. And I will say that I did watch Terrifier 1 and 2, so I understood what was happening. I don't think you would understand if you hadn't watched the movies. So I just, that was good. And I think I had a couple jump scares.
I did watch the highlight reel of all the kills from the 3 movies. So I got at least to know what the kills were like. So that was a fun part. We didn't mention though that Terry did bring goggles
Oh, she did.
and put them
yeah.
on. We
I
didn't
don't
get a
think we got a
picture because
picture.
she, as soon as we walked out the door, she took them off. But she put them on and she wore goggles through the entire thing. So
You do get sprayed. You do get sprayed. So if
Yeah.
anyone's like, it's not heavy, it's not like a fire hydrant, but you do get sprayed in the face and your hair and stuff. So
I will say one thing that I was disappointed in was the smell. I was expecting it to be really bad. And like we said, it was the poopery. I was expecting more from that. I was expecting a lot more smells throughout the whole
Right.
yeah,
night.
I really think they toned down this year the smells altogether.
I think that totally adds to it, though. They
It
shouldn't
does.
do that.
My number 1 and number 2 are my exact same for the hype list.
Okay.
So Galkin is my
We
number 2.
flip-flopped, yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was very detailed. There's a lot going on in it. once again, you can see scenes happening before you get to them. So like the Burning Man, you can see before you make the turn, and it's like a couple scenes later. So just seeing that, the level they've put into it. I'm not much. I love the scares. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to the houses, I think I appreciate more of the detail that they've put into it. So that's why Gawkin's so high. Rachel, you're number one.
Terrifier. Yeah. Terrifier is my number one. I just like how you guys said, the interactions with the scare actors. That was the most fun I think I had in a house. Just being able to interact with them. The smells, as you know, I wish it was more potent.
I don't.
Well, I think it makes it more immersive when it's more potent. It was long. I'm glad I didn't get soaked. Jason wants to slowly walk through the ending.
I was taking it all in.
That was just a room with water coming down. There wasn't much to take in that one.
But no, overall, like I thought that I just had a lot of fun.
When you're the fat guy in the group, knowing that you can be slow, and then everybody behind you has to be slow going through that room too, you take advantage of it too.
So next time, we're not letting Jason lead at all. We'll have one of us lead.
All right, Terry, what's your least scary house of HHN?
I don't think it's any surprise, but it's Five Nights at Freddy's. Two things that I remember from this house. One, it had like the legit late 90s, early 2000s movie theater carpet, which I loved because I feel like every movie theater should bring that back because I don't know if it's a nostalgia play, but like when you see that carpet being our age, I feel like, or I'm older than you guys. So, but it's like, oh, I'm going to have fun because you never saw cool carpet like that growing up unless you were somewhere fun.
So here's what you can get from Terry's list. If she's noticing the details of the carpet, where were her eyes the entire time?
Looking down. That one had legit children in it too.
Yeah.
No, it was just tiny people.
It's just tiny people.
It
Yeah.
should not have been tiny people.
They were tiny people.
That kid looked like he was 9. Like his face looked young.
They can't hire kids for this event.
It's just because they put the wigs on and the hat because like
Terry,
I thought it was kids too.
It's like I mean, they like the little
just
chubby
short
cheeks,
people.
like
there's
kids'
this
faces.
There's this thing called child labor laws.
Well, they're not little people. They're dressing up like
Yeah,
children.
they
They're
look
like
young.
small adults.
they were definitely young, but
Yeah.
not children.
But it's the only one I laughed in. So obviously, if I'm laughing going through there, then it's not scary. So it's a safe one.
Micah, we know yours is Gawkin. Why is it Gawkin?
So again, I love just the idea of Vikings and the lore of that. But again, it was really pretty and I was just really excited for it. And I feel like for me, it did kind of live up to that part. And there's one where you're going through a house and the girl's like, they killed Mama and Papa, like as you're going through and like there's like the dead bodies on the wall. But you also get like the foreshadowing of like that Burning Man thing as you're coming through and you start to smell the burning wood and stuff as you're going through. I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it was really pretty. I would want to go through that one again. I liked the whole like story with it and the characters that were there, because if you've ever like read books about Vikings or watched the shows about Vikings and stuff, it kind of brought that stuff in and I just really liked it.
What, Heather?
Was Jason. And so that was my number 2 on my hype list, but that one was my favorite. I was originally looking forward to it because of the lore of Jason. And I thought it was going to be more like The Quiet Place last year, where it wasn't really anything exciting, but I enjoyed the lore of Jason, I guess. But I actually got scared and I loved the hallway of Jason's because I actually got scared. I didn't know which one they were going to pop out of. So that one was awesome.
I would do that one in a heartbeat again, just because it's.
I
It's
almost
just
got
fun.
like one of those like little like not like hatchet things he had like was really close to my face.
And it's like, when you're doing the conga line, you don't get as many jump scares, but that one you did.
So my number 1 is El Artista. So like I said, it's the same as my hype list. The details in that house are crazy. Just looking around, seeing the small faces in little places above the windows and everything. The art they put throughout it. It's not a scary house, but I think there was potential there. The story itself is great. Going through the house, going through the greenhouse, and then under the undercroft. It's just great. I enjoyed the whole thing. I think my wife's going to love it when I bring her down in a couple weeks, and we'll probably end up going through that house like 3 or 4 times. Overall, what was y'all's biggest disappointments or your thing that surprised you the most about the event?
I wouldn't say it's a disappointment. I think I just wasn't prepared for the type of park day it was going to be. I'm so used to like a typical park day. And listen, like I've opened and closed parks on the same day. Like I understand like the long, but it went by fast. I didn't realize it was 8 hours.
Yeah.
But the fact that we walked, stood, walked some more, we barely sat. I just wasn't prepared for that. You have to get express pass. There's just no way to do it.
Yeah.
I would love to do it again so I can get more of the atmosphere
details?
and the more details, the more scares. I would love to do it again. I would do it again. I think I would do like a tour,
R.I.P.
an RIP, because I want more done in a night. Like it's definitely, even with Express Pass, I feel like it's a 2-3 night event.
I think, so on your point with RIP, being that I did that last year, you get a little bit more of the story. So you know what you're going into if you haven't, because they do a podcast and they put these stories out so you can listen to them and know the backstory. But the RIP tour guides actually tell you what you're going to be looking forward to in the original houses. You pretty much know what the IPs are. You know some type of gist of the Jason movies, that he's just a serial killer killing everybody. But you don't know what the creative team was thinking for something like Hatchet and Chains, and to get a tour guide to tell you what it is. And then you get very front of the line priority. I mean, they walk you straight to the door and say, okay, you're going in now.
That would have been nice because I feel like part of the time we sat and waited for the Nightmare Fuel show. Like we got in line at 11:40
Yeah.
for a 12:30 show.
Right.
And the RIP people, like they just walk in, like, and they have their seating to go in there. So that was like time that we could have been going through another house. Like if we wanted to go through Dolls again with Express Pass, since we didn't use it for that one. So that would have been nice.
Yeah. So if my suggestion for RIP, they have two. They have the regular one that would just be for like if we decided to go, and it was just the 5 of us, we could go in there and have, I think it's 6 more people with us that we don't know. But and you get each house once. But if you do private, you can do the houses as many times as you want. So a lot of the people I've listened to and watched, they've done the houses twice, so they can, if they notice there was a shift change, they could go through and do another round just to see if they make sure they got the scares.
Well, for me, like I was comparing to Hollywood. So that was my whole hype thing, that I wanted to do Hollywood and Orlando. Hollywood is very short. We did not stay till closing. But I will say I was able to do more of holding back instead of a conga line. So I feel like I got more scares in Hollywood. But I did enjoy Orlando, that there were 10 houses. That's awesome. And it's all within that park, where with Hollywood, you're doing level 1, level 2. Make sure you do all of level 1 before you go back up to level 2. So I would say Orlando's better than Hollywood.
I think that the thing with Hollywood that makes it a little bit like edges it out some when going through the houses is you can walk side by side, right? You can.
Oh, true.
You can actually go through and walk, and you can talk about stuff as you're going through. You are being pulsed a little bit more than a conga line. You get those scares, and you actually get to talk to the person you're with and be like, oh, you can see the reaction they get when they get scared. I saw myself turning around a lot to see what y'all's reactions were.
I know. Yeah. Like I wanted to see more of your guys' reactions, and I couldn't, because then I was going to turn around and have somebody in my face. So
Yeah.
Okay, so next year, what are we going to do? Are we going to do a weekend? Are we doing RIP? I mean, we got to go ahead and start hyping for next year.
Next year.
I mean, scary Halloween party.
So again, I said I would come back. I definitely would. I would want to do it again, but I think it would be fun to do an RIP tour just so we can go in. That way, I feel like we don't feel like we have to like rush, because at the end of the night, I was like, are we going to be able to get through all 10 of the houses even with Express Pass? Because some of the times like our waits were a little bit longer. The one thing I don't recommend doing is getting a really early morning flight and being at the airport all day and then going to it, because I, being in my mid 30s, was very tired by the end of the night. Like by the time we went to bed, I was up for almost 23 hours. I was dragging, like, before we were doing Nightmare Fuel, if I would have put both knees up and put my forehead on my knees, I probably would have fallen asleep. Like I literally turned to Terry and I was like, I don't know if I really want to do these last 2 houses. Yeah. Like, I don't know if I can make it. But thankfully that sitting down during the show and stuff kind of gave me that little like last push to get through, because I was really dragging and really tired.
I mean, that's to add on to what Rachel said. We stay there for 8 hours. I don't think when you say 10 houses, it doesn't sound as daunting as when like you're doing it, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think any of us were prepared when we went in at 6 that we were going to be there for 8 hours.
Yeah. I mean, we knew it closed at 2, but I guess I didn't think it was going to
Yeah.
take
Yeah, and
until 2.
I didn't think we were going to stay till 2. I thought we were
Yes.
going to get out 4 like Hollywood, but nope, we were there.
I joked with y'all about staying till 2.
Yeah. We were
but-
like, no way.
Yeah, and I thought we'd kind of get done with Express and whatnot. And I think a lot of that hang up happens when, you know, we walk back to Nightmare Fuel to watch it, and then
Yeah.
it waited in line for a little bit, and then we
Yeah.
get cut off. So we have to go back and change our strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we have to go back to Nightmare Fuel and wait an extra 40 minutes to sit
Yeah.
down, we could have done those 2 houses in
Yeah.
then walked out of the house if we had our out of the park if we had already done the event. So
Don't miss the show. Like
Yeah,
totally
the show
worth
was definitely
waiting
the
for the
best
show.
part.
Yeah.
we missed so much. Like we weren't able to go through all the scare zones at night. We went through the Masquerade one early. We didn't go back through it on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
The Mel zombies we saw.
Yeah, because we ate at Mel's and they
Yeah.
were right there, but they were just more of that street experience. So kind of just.
That even goes back to the food. We didn't get to try any of the unique
know.
food
No.
throughout the event.
I was going to say that was another thing that it's hard to do in one night if you're going to do the food too, because you have to wait in line for food and drinks and everything. So we didn't do any of that, and we still took us that long to get through.
Yeah.
So imagine if we had, you know, stopped at this kiosk to get this and stopped at this kiosk. We could not have done it all, I don't think.
So RIP tour next year.
Yeah.
I'm
I
for
see
it.
why you come multiple times, Jason, just to
Yeah, for sure.
experience everything and see it. Like it makes sense.
It's a fun event. I know I said it before we came down, and I can say it while we're all in the same room. I'm glad y'all got experience with me. I always love sharing this event with people for the first time, for their first time, and even whatever time it is, because it's always more fun with a group. But then I like my time by myself when I can go in there and do this. And hopefully I think there's a few agents that want to go in tonight, and I'll get to go with them and show them. I'm not going to do any houses tonight, just unless there's something that's a 15-minute wait. I'm
Yeah.
just
You're not going to do
straight.
dolls? See if it gets any better?
If it's 15 minutes, I'll do it. But
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, it's gonna be after dinner. That's gonna do it for this episode. Once again, thank y'all for coming down and doing HHN with me. Heather, thank you for being on the podcast for the HHN hype list and then coming back. You're our
And thank you for going with us.
Yeah.
It was fun. We had a
Oh,
great time.
thanks. I had a good time. Yeah.
the next episode we're gonna do. We're here for the week for the most part. Rachel leaves on Wednesday, and Heather, you leave on Thursday.
Yeah.
So Micah, Terry, myself, Allison, Siobhan, and Jerry are going to Epcot on Thursday.
I think we're doing.
Me and Mike are going to try to do all 4 parks if you want to go with
Well, I
us.
mean, we're doing the my payback for taking
Yes.
Terry to HHN
Oh, you're
is
some
eating
stuff,
around the
buddy.
world.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of Thursday. But we are going to try to do 4 parks in a day. I'll actually be
Beacon
doing.
Barrel.
I'm doing 5 parks in a day because I'm going to HHN that night.
Oh,
See, I was tired last night, and I'm like, oh, let's go. Yeah, let's go do all 4 parks
Yeah.
at Disney in one day.
well, I think, like you said, you're in your mid-30s. I'm I'm 40. Doing 8 hours, we didn't do 8 hours starting at like 8 a.m.
Right.
Like we did 8 hours starting at 6 p.m.
After traveling.
All day.
Like, and I don't know the last time any of us were up till 2 a.m.
No.
Like voluntarily and not like I can't sleep way.
I mean,
but-
because it was me, Terry, and Rachel all flew in yesterday.
yeah.
So come in the day before.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's that huge recommendation because I don't know if I could do that again.
No.
But to that, I drive down every year and go straight into HHN. So I get up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and still stay up until close. So, but then I'm doing multiple nights too.
Yeah, no,
Okay, so the next episode, we'll probably recap a little bit what we do during this week and really talk. We're going to have Allison and Siobhan on to talk about eating and drinking around the world and what all we do at Disney World on Thursday. And then Terry's going to experience the rest of Universal for the very first time this week.
I'm very excited. Nothing got me more excited last night than walking through the Harry Potter world
yeah.
to use the bathroom. I was like, can we stay here? We saw the dragon.
That's the only
Spitfire.
disappointment I had was I really wanted to see Death Eaters, but they apparently come out around 4, so I still have a chance this week.
I mean, the tickets are still on sale for the rest of the week.
I'm not
So-
going. I don't think I'm going back this week. I'm not going to stay up that late again.
We don't have to stay up that late. You can go in and we do scare zones.
I mean, if I'm paying that much money for a ticket, I want to use the entire ticket time.
Okay. Well, we hope you all enjoy this. If you have any time, please go like any of our social media. We have posted a bunch of stuff from HHN and we'll be posting as this goes on. So you can go to us at Castles of Cauldrons. If you need to get a hold of any of us, you can go to www.magicaltravel.com. We will be glad to help you with a no obligation quote. And Heather, how can we get a hold of you?
You can follow me on social media. I'm Heather Kalia with Magical Travel.
And your cozies? That you didn't bring us an HHN cozy?
Well, I wouldn't have had time.
Busy lady.
It's dark. So yeah, I do Once Upon a Cozy is the name of it. And I have an Etsy shop and I do some Disney. I do have a Jason cozy. I should have brought it with me, but I didn't. But so yeah.
Okay. And that's going to do it for us today. We will see you on the next episode.
Bye. It's going to be the best bye yet.